one voice with India against those who perpetrate and foster terrorism.
United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May almost hit the ground running when she held bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi after she landed in India. She called UK and India natural partners in trade and commerce. Both the leaders had extensive talks on a variety of issues, but the stress remained on improving trade and commerce ties.
We have also agreed to establish a joint working group on trade. We believe that such a group should not only focus on ways to increase trade in goods, but also on the expansion of services trade, including through greater mobility of skilled professionals.
Prime Minister Modi announced that India and the UK have decided to establish a joint working group on trade and commerce. Prime Minister Theresa May also sought to put focus on free trade between the nations and laid importance to move fast in removing trade barriers.
We are both firm supporters of free trade. We both want to be great exporting nations. And so we should work together for the long haul to break down the barriers to trade and investment. We've also agreed to establish structured talks at officials level to identify what more we can do now before the UK leaves the EU to remove barriers to business. And this will pave the way for securing a deeper trade and investment relationship once the UK has left.
The two nations also agreed on the fight against terror. Prime Minister Modi termed terrorism as a clear threat to not only few countries of the world, but to the entire humanity.
I conveyed our deep concerns to Prime Minister May regarding cross-border terrorism and the need for the international community to take strong action against states that support and sponsor terrorism.
Prime Minister Modi thanked Prime Minister Theresa May for UK's consistent support for India's membership of the United Nations Security Council and the Nuclear Suppliers Group. Prime Minister Theresa May also announced liberal visa policy for frequent flyers to Britain. Both the nations have signed two important memorandum of understandings after extensive delegation-level talks in the Hyderabad House. The first MOU is on the ease of doing business, while the second focuses on the intellectual property rights. Both the countries have also decided to shift gears in the field of defence and security. Prime Minister Modi invited British companies to build partnerships with Indian enterprises that focus on manufacturing, technology transfer and co-development. On her part, UK Prime Minister May said that Britain is ready to upgrade the ties with focus on transfer of technology and Make in India initiative. She also announced investments by British companies in a host of fields, including the Smart City programme and the infrastructure boost in critical sectors.
This relationship matters more than ever. India is a leading power in the world, the largest democracy, the fastest growing major economy, the second largest contributor to UN peacekeeping operations, a country that we would like to see take a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, and a natural partner for Britain. We want to work with India for our shared prosperity, our shared security, and as a force for good in the world.
It's just not chicken tikka or curry that bond India and Britain. Trade and investment are the new currencies between both the countries. Ties are set to take new shape, with India becoming a global economic powerhouse and Britain leaving the European Union. With the visit of British Prime Minister Theresa May to India, it sends a signal of a new partnership in an increasingly uncertain world.
Prime Minister May has chosen India as her first bilateral visit destination outside the European Union since she assumed office in July after the tumultuous post-Brexit vote period. With inputs from Sudhir Yadav and Siddhant Sibal in New Delhi, Newsnight Desk, DD News.
Well, India has also sought extradition of criminals